Hi. I would like to talk about the issue of feeling unseen because I know that I think nearly all of us probably have felt unseen in our lives in one way or another. Maybe for some people it's more of an issue than for others. And it ties into the whole pain of visibility complex, or wanting to be visible and feeling unseen is somehow maybe the other side of the coin or the same, I don't know. But I would like to dive a little bit deeper into it. And the first thing I think I would like to say is, if you feel unseen, it is real, and often it is not at all your fault. I really don't like that narrative where and you can find a lot of videos on this where it's because you're avoidant, because you're anxious, you're not outgoing enough, or whatever it is, and it's putting that feeling of being unseen totally on the person. And I think it's not right, because we live in a really unhealthy society as such, and there are many people, when they belong to a certain group, that feel unseen because you're supposed to be young, you're supposed to be healthy, you're supposed to be white, you're supposed to be many things. So I think there's only a very small group of people, to be honest, that feel seen in that sense, because they kind of fulfill the standard, I would say. And so, for example, if you deal with chronic illness, ME, for example, or chronic fatigue, it is a very invisible illness already, as most of the chronic illnesses are. And most of the people, I would say probably all of the people, because they are not taken seriously by doctors, they are not taken seriously often by family and friends, because it's also hard to understand, because those people look very healthy on the inside. They feel unseen, and they're left alone with their struggles and their needs. Which brings me actually to the point, what it means to feel unseen is exactly that somehow you feel that your needs and your feelings are not validated. And to take it one step further, often are, when I bring it back to the example of the chronic illness, gaslighted. Gaslighting means that someone does deny your own reality. It's like if I say I'm not feeling well, and the other person says says as a response, "Oh, if you feel that way." I have had that, if you physically not feeling well and you say I'm not feeling well, and it's kind of like you're not being validated in your own reality. So these are very real things, and so it's not on you who feels unseen. It's on those people who don't care enough to really validate your reality, or who have to even gaslight you. I mean, some people gaslight by accident because they don't know better, or maybe they can't deal with your suffering, and other people's I don't want to get too much into that. They do it on purpose, which is even worse. But I think to really realize, because I think that it's worse to then you feel unseen, and then you think, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not being seen? And so on and so forth. Whereas in fact, there are many, many factors, societal ones, that make you feel unseen, or where are certain expectations. Another example I would like to give, let's say you're in an academic environment and you're writing your PhD on something that also is maybe about chronic illness, that is also personal, and you, first of all, don't have the energy to meet with all those people in person, and secondly, you're not supposed to become too personal or really share your feelings, because that's not academic. And so I think, wow, so you only become visible to those people if you're doing the things that they want you to do. Shut up about anything that concerns you, be hyper academic. And then you need to ask yourself, do I really want to be visible to those people? Because quite frankly, I don't think it's going to do you any good. I think being visible is about standing firmly in your own values and what you are about. And I think we need people who break through this idea that you can't be vulnerable and professional at the same time. We need people who have the courage to be both. To be personal and not only appear as an expert, but also share their own struggles and feelings and vulnerabilities. And you can't do that if you're trying to adapt to an environment that's not prepared to see you as you are in the first place. I want to make that very clear, because I think if you do that, you're bending over backwards. It's not worth it. So if those people only can see you if you adapt, or if you are a certain way, like I said in the beginning, if you are young, beautiful, blah, 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 then, forget about those people. It's rather be unseen. But obviously is more difficult is when I come back to the chronic illness again, if you go to the doctor and the doctor completely, which I have had often, and probably everyone with chronic illness, oh, this hasn't got anything to do with your Hashimoto's, and they just kind of ignore all the symptoms you're having. And then you need to ask yourself, do I try to find a doctor that actually cares enough to really look at everything, or what am I going to do about it? But I just want to make it once more very clear that if you feel unseen, it's real. And instead of looking at yourself, what you're doing wrong, look at your environment and look what they are doing wrong, and then look at what you need and whether you can find another way to get what you need, so that you have areas and people who really are prepared to see you. And that will help with the whole visibility thing as well. Let me know what your experiences are with feeling unseen, and whether you always thought it was your own fault. I would love to know. This is Anja Kersten, life coach and artist. Take good care. Bye-bye.